I'm going to preview the Baylor at TCU women's volleyball game, which will be played November 26th at 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN Plus. Of course, there will be live stats as well. Apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. And Baylor did defeat Texas Tech. Yes, it was not a sweep, but it's better than losing a game that you shouldn't. It was 3-1. And Baylor actually lost the first set 22-25, but they won the next three 25-18, 25-16. Yes, Texas Tech got close at the very end, 25-22. So that's the first time they won a match despite losing a first set since game number 1 of the year. I'm glad for them to know, hey, we could come back now. I said down and then flip the match for the rest of the way. So thus, Baylor is 16-9 on the year, 11-6 in the Big 12. Now I'm going to go to the rest of the Big 12 standings, and Arizona State's obviously the champion, if you don't know that already. They're 15-1. Iowa State's 12-4. Colorado's 12-5. Kansas 11-5. Baylor's 11-6. TCU 9-7. Kansas State 9-7. BYU 8-8. Arizona 8-8. UCF 7-9. Cincinnati 7-9. Utah 6-10. West Virginia 3-13. Texas Tech 2-14. And Houston 1-15. I will say though, TCU did not play so good against Texas Tech at home recently. They had to win that game 3-2. 27-25. 25-22. But the next two sets, TCU dropped. 25-19. 25-21. But TCU won the very last one, 15-12. Thus, they are 19-9 on the year, 9-7 in Big 12. I already mentioned Big 12 standings. And both of these teams I expect to be ranked, and I'll put that in the title. I'm just pre-recording this ahead of time just to get it out of the way. Once the rankings come out, just upload it, and I'll put the stats as well as the roster for TCU in the description below. And honestly, this is a huge game for conference standings-wise, and there's actually some family involvement here. I mean, Hardy Craig against her uncle, and her uncle is the TCU head coach. And actually, Shelby Livingstone Enema, one of the assistants at Baylor, her brother-in-law is actually a coach at TCU as an assistant. And it's obviously like Ryan McGuire versus his former assistant as well. So, yeah, it's a little interesting dynamic going into this game. So what are some players to keep an eye on for TCU? And I do not know the injury status for Baylor or TCU. I just know Baylor hasn't had Grace Carroll in a while. It's not like we know for football and in men's and women's basketball and the injuries. It's not like that at all. Of course, I already knew about one player, and I would have not mentioned this player anyway, but she was out for the year early on. So yeah. Just want to make sure to mention that. And that would be Jalen Gibson. So the first player to keep an eye on is Alex Volpe, number 0, 5'6" defense specialist / libero. That is a sophomore. 1 kill on 7 attempts, 132 assists, 18 service aces, 21 service errors, 29 receiving errors, 407 digs, which is the most on the team, and that's it. There's Alexis Roberson, number 1. A 6'3" middle blocker that is a redshirt junior. 120 kills on 277 attempts with 29 attacking errors. 6 assists, 1 service error, 37 receiving errors, 71 blocks, 5 of those solo and 3 blocking errors. There's Evan Hendricks, number 2. A 5'9" outside hitter that is a sophomore. 459 kills, which is the most on the team on 1,220 attempts with 160 attacking errors. 22 assists, 14 service aces, but 42 service errors. 30 receiving errors, which is the most on the team. 292 digs. 42 blocks, 3 of those solo, and 4 blocking errors. There's Sarah Sylvester, number 4. A 6'3" middle blocker that is a senior. 141 kills on 328 attempts with 25 attacking errors, 11 assists, 2 service aces, 1 service error, 33 digs, 136 blocks, which is the most on the team, 15 of the solo, and 4 blocking errors. Then I'll skip down to Lauren Murphy, number 9. A 6'4" outside hitter that is a junior. 195 kills on 517 attempts with 63 attacking errors, 15 assists, 27 service aces, which is the most on the team, 42 service errors, 2 receiving errors, 90 digs, 80 blocks, 7 to solo, 2 blocking errors, and 1 ball handling error. Then there's Becca Kelly, number 11. A 6'3" outside hitter that is a redshirt sophomore. 315 kills, which is the second most on the team, on 838 attempts with 149 attacking errors. 9 assists, 8 service aces, 10 service errors, 2 receiving errors, 72 digs, 62 blocks, 7 no solo, 5 blocking errors, and 5 ball handling errors. I might as well go over Samara Coleman just in case she does play. She's only played like 75 sets this year. Number 12, a 6'1" outside hitter that is a freshman. 101 kills on 340 attempts, 57 attacking errors on that. 7 assists, 17 service aces, 52 service errors. That's the most on the team. 18 receiving errors, 109 digs, 25 blocks, 2 solo, and that's really it. There's Jalen Clark, number 16. A 5'7" libero / defensive specialist. That is a junior. No kills on no attempts with no attacking errors. 19 assists. 8 receiving errors. 63 digs. That's it. There's Rosemary Archer, number 17. A 6-foot setter that is a junior. 5 attacking errors. 5 kills on just 14 total attempts with 4 attacking errors. 522 assists, 20 service aces, 44 service errors, 1 receiving error, 157 digs, 3 blocks, 0 solo, and 1 blocking error. And the last player I'm going to mention is Ella Foti, number 20. A 6-foot setter / opposite that is a grad senior. 31 kills on 104 attempts with 10 attacking errors. 580 assists, which is the most on the team. 24 service aces, 37 service errors, 1 receiving errors, 274 digs, 7 blocks, 2 solo, and 1 blocking error. Obviously, whatever you did right last game, you got to bring this game. Whatever you did wrong last game, you got to correct. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively. This is the last regular season match for Baylor, while TCU has 1 more after this. Just let you know. So this is one last tune-up, and this is obviously huge for RPI as well, not just in terms of Big 12 standings. And it would really help like the recruiting as well for Baylor down the line to say, hey, we finished higher than TCU did. So I'm just saying. And I know there might be some questionable calls here and there, but you got to be mentally tough and find ways to win. And I know the crowd might be involved for the game, so you need to find a way to try to take the crowd out of the game as much as possible with your play. And while getting your Baylor fans involved in the game. And obviously you want to keep your composure as well. I mean, and do this for your seniors on their last road trip to TCU. I'm just saying, I expect TCU to try to go all out because it's like one of their last home games that they have. So I'm just saying, you got to be prepared for that. Obviously, you don't want to have like a footfall or a rotation error. That's just in the match. You don't want to give up 3 points that way. Now, obviously, you don't want to have like net violations or like block net violations at all, or illegal back row attacks or 2 touches. But the 2 touch you could somewhat control. Not the violations you can't control. Obviously, you want to win the jousting up top. or don't go over the net too much, but still, it could be questionable at times. And your best defense sometimes comes from your serving, so you got to serve tough, and you got to limit the service errors as much as possible in this type of game, and you got to come off of make it tough for them and to handle the receiving game. I'm just saying. And obviously, read their tendencies and try to shut down the best players offensively as much as possible. Have your blocking step up. Have your try to dig every ball out. Get them to overpass the ball some. That would really be helpful. You got to take advantage of those. Well, you want to limit those overpasses, and same thing goes for those free balls. And if it's a free ball on TCU, you got to take advantage of it. Obviously, you want to limit the free balls you give to TCU in this type of game. And it would also help if you would win the long rallies as much as possible, because that does make a difference. Not just in terms of the sets, but in terms of the matches. You got to be really good on your side outs, both offensively and defensively. I mean, and just telling the truth. And obviously, you want to limit their blocking, limit their digs. I know, have some variety on offense, but if there's a certain player that they can't stop, continue to feed that player. Obviously, and you could throw in like a change up, like Harley Craig going for a kill instead. But still, you know what I mean. Don't be afraid to change it up offensively. And you really do need to find a way to start fast in each set as much as possible. If you have a lead, you got to protect it. If not, extend it. If you're down, you try to climb back in 1 point at a time. That's all I got to say, really, for this game. And this really is not going to hurt you either way in terms of, if you lose this game, it's not going to hurt. It's more like seeding at this point on the NCAAs. So we're going to honestly wait and see. And this is basically I would treat this game as if it was like the NCAA tournament. Because when you get to that point, win or go home. And I know this is not really win or go home situation, but this is a really good test to get ready for the NCAAs coming right up. And I don't expect Baylor to be a 4 seed unless they win this game and then get a lot of help. That's the only way they're going to get in, to be a 4 seed. That's just telling the truth. So the really best I could see is like a 5 seed. So let's try to go up to there. And obviously, if you would win that first set, you have shown all year long you could win every match except 2 of those. But if you're down 1-9, you only won twice, and that's against Texas Tech last game and game number 1 against South Alabama. Luckily, you finally beat somebody despite losing the first set. So hopefully, you can try to flip the match around and you need to do better on the road in general, not just terms of the rest of the year, because you're going to go on the road somewhere for the NCAAs. I'm talking about next year for those potential returning players. So let's go out there, give our best shot, see what happens. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys later on the road. 8 scores, ultimate goal is 1,000 more. So my money scores video, comment video really helps YouTube background. Some more people see it, and the video does help as well. Some more people could watch. And if you're watching, and hit subscribe button, notification bell as well.